There is no sign that the race is tightening at all, Kate Baldwin. If anything, Zohran Mamdani's lead is getting bigger, wider, larger. You look in September in a three-way, Mamdani was at 45, Cuomo 15 points back, Curtis Sliwa, the Republican, at 17. Look at where we are now. Mamdani is actually up. He's up to 49%. Then you got Cuomo at 31%, so a 15-point advantage back in September on the average. Now it is 18 points. The bottom line is this. Andrew Cuomo needs something very big to change at this particular point, unless, of course, he becomes Teddy Roosevelt overnight. Because if something doesn't change over the final 2.5 weeks of this campaign, this race is pretty much over.
Right now in New York City, Zohran Mamdani has an 86% chance of winning according to Kalshi. Cuomo only has a 14% chance. Right now, people are betting as much as $2,300 that Cuomo is going to win. Wow, Zohran Mamdani has a high chance of winning right now. He's also went on Fox the other day. They asked him if he would tell Hamas to lay down their weapons. He did not say he would. He has some controversial takes. Some people say he's a communist. He says he's a socialist Democrat. And then your other options are Cuomo and Sliwa. So an interesting time for New York City. Who knows what will happen.
New York City is done. And after the latest mayoral debate, it couldn't be more obvious. What took place on stage between Democrat socialist Zohran Mamdani, shamed former Governor Andrew Cuomo, and Republican Curtis Sliwa was a reality check for anyone still holding out hope for New York's future. Mamdani's entire campaign is built on emotion, tugging at heartstrings, promising to make New York affordable again through a laundry list of socialist policies. Cuomo isn't exactly a savior either. This is the same man buried under massive scandals, from his COVID nursing home cover-up to resigning in disgrace just a week after the state attorney general confirmed he sexually harassed multiple women. And then there's Curtis Sliwa, fiery, loud, but with no real path to victory, in a city that has long since abandoned red for deep blue. So what we have here isn't a race. It's a dumpster fire, and New Yorkers are about to find out what happens when they elect a man who wants to remake the city in the image of socialism. And ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy any part of the video, make sure you hit the like button. For more, subscribe to the channel. And so let's start with giving you the tone that was set with this debate.
It's time to have a Democratic Party that actually stands up to Donald Trump and his billionaire-backed assault on working people.
Well, first
thank
you, Mr. Mamdani. You're not a Democrat,
right?
You're not a Democrat. You're a Democratic socialist.
We have
you didn't vote for Kamala Harris, right?
We have other ground to cover. We have other ground to cover.
That's an incendiary charge. I want to be very...
You may have a chance to address it, but we do.
I'll be very quick.
We have a lot of issues to get to with New Yorkers, Mr. Mamdani.
I'll be very quick.
You didn't say leave it blank in the Kamala
I'll be very
campaign?
quick. I said leave it blank in the presidential primary, because primaries are a place to air dissent. And like many Americans, I was horrified by the Israeli genocide of Palestinians. And if you want to look for me on the ballot, you'll find me as the Democrat.
Mr. Mamdani, thank you.
So that was Mamdani defending himself, telling voters that they'll be able to find him under Democrat on Election Day. But let's be honest, this man has openly embraced the title of Democratic Socialist time and time again, and he does it with a smile. Mamdani is like the Pied Piper of New York politics, charming, articulate, and full of grand promises. But where he leads is straight off of a cliff, and that's why New York is doomed, because people are actually buying what he's selling. And when you stack him up against a disgraced former governor like Andrew Cuomo, it's no wonder voters think that they're choosing something new. But here's the problem. New doesn't always mean better. Sometimes it just means a faster path to collapse. Mamdani knows exactly what to say to make New Yorkers feel heard. Anti-Trump, anti-corporate, anti-everything that sounds powerful. But that's not leadership, that's salesmanship. And like every good salesman, he's selling hope he doesn't have the means to deliver. And this next question is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. When Mamdani was asked how he plans to actually fund his so-called free buses for all program across New York City, this was his answer, if you can even call it that.
Let's talk about free buses. Mr. Mamdani, this is a centerpiece of your campaign. Can you explain how you will make buses free? You have 30 seconds to answer.
Absolutely. We will make buses free by replacing the revenue that the MTA currently gets from buses. This is revenue that's around $700 million or so. That's less money than Andrew Cuomo gave to Elon Musk in $959 million in tax credits when he was the governor. And the reason that we will do so is that making buses free doesn't just provide economic relief, but also public safety. Because what we've seen seen is that it decreases assaults on bus drivers by 38.9%. New Yorkers deserve more than the slowest buses in the country. I know that because I was on the M57 not too long ago, and its average speed is 4.9 miles an hour.
We're at time, though, but the question is how you'll make them free.
You see, Mamdani is a fast-talking slickster, so quick with the political jargon that the moderator had to ask the same question twice. And here's the part that he conveniently left out when bragging about his so-called success. That 38.9% decrease in assaults on bus drivers. When you actually read the report, the full report, you find out that it's based on 5 buses. 5. For anyone who's ever set foot in New York City, you know how ridiculous that is. You can walk half a block and see 5 buses go by. So to use that as proof his plan works is laughable. And of course, those 5 buses saw fewer assaults because when you make the ride free, those violent, unstable individuals now have less of a reason to attack the bus drivers. But that logic completely collapses when you scale it up. How does he think that's going to work across thousands of buses and hundreds of routes? It means more innocent people put at risk with violent and unstable individuals.
The question is how you'll make them free.
We will fund the revenue that would have otherwise been brought in from fares, and that's something that we would do in partnership with Albany, and I've put forward 2 proposals. The first is to raise taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers by 2%. That would raise $4 billion. The second is to raise the state's top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey, which would raise $5 billion.
We're going to move along, but I just want to point out to viewers that Governor Hochul has opposed raising the income tax. But Melissa, we'll move on to your question.
Okay,
And there you have it. The Pied Piper of politics strikes again, making promises he can't even sign off on. Because here's the reality. Mamdani doesn't control the purse strings. Even if he wins, New York State Governor Kathy Hochul has already come out against raising income taxes, which is exactly how he plans on funding these fantasy programs. And this next clip is the perfect example of how lost New York really is. Zohran Mamdani actually said that Andrew Cuomo isn't fit to be mayor, and his reason, because Cuomo never visited a Muslim mosque. Yeah, that's where we are right now. New York is so screwed, and I don't say that lightly. Take a listen.
Candidate in the Democratic primary for him to set foot in a mosque. He had more than 10 years, and he couldn't name a single mosque at the last debate we had that he visited. And what Muslims want in this city is what every community wants and deserves. They want equality, and they want respect. And it took me to get you to even see those Muslims as part of this city. And that, frankly, is something that is shameful and is why so many New Yorkers have lost faith in this politics.
Yeah, except that is totally false. I worked with the Muslim community for many years.
Name a single mosque you went to when you were the governor. Can you name a single mosque you went to in 10 years?
Before you were ever here. They were
before I was here.
Before you were even in state government. I worked with the Muslim community. Imams presided over State of the States. We worked in religious working groups, tolerance groups, anti-Semitic groups, etc.
All right, gentlemen.
This is honestly hilarious. We're watching what's supposed to be a mayoral debate, and since the Republican isn't really a viable threat, the Democrats are basically competing over trying to call each other out on who's more racist. It's literally a clown show. Now, this next moment was one of the most surprising and concerning moments of the entire debate, especially from a Republican perspective. The moderator asked a very straightforward question. Was there any circumstance where the candidates would allow the NYPD to work alongside the National Guard if they were deployed by President Trump? And this right here was everyone's response. Take a listen.
I'd like to see a show of hands. Are there any circumstances where any of you would allow the NYPD to cooperate with the National Guard if Trump sent them to New York? Show of hands. Yes? No takers. Okay.
And that right there is why New York City is done. Let's be real. This is one of the most liberal cities in America. And in order for Curtis Sliwa to even have the chance of being taken with any level of seriousness, he has to make concessions, unfortunately. And even with that, every poll shows he doesn't have a prayer at winning. And that clip showed it perfectly. New York choices come down to a disgraced former governor, a self-proclaimed Democratic socialist, and a Republican who's fighting an uphill battle in a city that's already made up its mind. So what does that tell you about the future of New York? It means that they'll probably elect Zohran Mamdani as the next mayor. And when they do, they have to live with the consequences. Maybe it takes a major city like New York crashing under the weight of his own idealism for people to finally see how far off the rails the Democratic Party has gone. But what are your thoughts on the New York City mayoral race between Zohran Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, and Curtis Sliwa? Drop your comments down below. I appreciate when you guys chime in. Don't forget, you enjoy any part of the content, smash the like button. For more, subscribe to the channel. Stick around for the next video where RFK Jr.'s wife, Cheryl Hines, absolutely dismantled the View host. After they tried ambushing her, she hit him back hard with nothing but facts. So stick around for that, and I'll see you next time.